Alright, beginning of bolt action. We just played an awesome X-Wing game. Little brain dead, but we'll do the bolt action. We'll start with the Germans. I got a Panzer IV-J. Then first squad is SS Panzer unit. A lot of assault rifles and a light machine gun. Next to them I have the ceremonial German guards that were expecting Hitler to come instead of the Americans. They kind of effed that up a little bit. These guys are all in black still. They didn't get a chance to change. They got a 10-man squad. Got a mortar squad next to them, 81mm mortar with a spotter. Hanomag in the middle with a 37mm anti-tank gun and a MG42 on the back. MG42 next to them. He's ready to get in the middle and kill some people. There's the first lieutenant with his two assistants that both have SMGs, and they both have Panzerfaust, so they're going to be gunning for the American tanks. Next up's the Pioneer squad. It's got a flamethrower and a machine gun, so if they get in close quarters, they're just going to be butchering them people. Then the Puma. It's not a Puma. And then last up is the rocket launcher at the end. And I'll come around here and see what they got to go against from their perspective. It's all hills, and then at the very some ruins, some hills.
We're gonna need more beer.
I got more beer upstairs, and at the very end of all that is Greg and C-Dub down there waiting with the Americans. I'll go down there and check what they got when they're all set up.
Like we're ready to start World War III down here.
But the whole point really is basically to get up here and get control, and this intersection would be like completely death. Got two Bruins opposing each other, got some walls, got some good 3D terrain.
Here's the wall part about some of this stuff.
And we'll see what happens. Alright, we'll get the American setup after it's done. The American bastards got all the regular infantry squads here in the back, two of them. Got their officer in the front. Got the tanks on the road, gonna come up like a beast.
Trying to decide if we should
Artillery in the middle.
switch, put a Ranger over there.
And Rangers and paratroops over there, and the officer up front, and the 30 cal machine gun. Greg still might make maneuvers, no big deal. Try to figure out where you want them to be, then you'll be set. They've got some good cover going up to this building, and then they got some walls. Oh Jesus! Turn one. Krauts are moving forward into Poland. Just kidding. Got the friggin' officer with the Pioneers kind of shifting to the right side. They're getting covered by the Puma. It's not a Puma. The Hanomag has moved up very slowly, but if you look at this beautiful freaking view here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this dickhead Sherman just popping over the top, waiting to blast somebody. So they did try out the brakes a little bit. Yeah, this zoom is awesome on this thing. So he slowed down. Next to him's the machine gun team. They're going to probably get smoked here. The mortar moved up, left his spotter behind. He's in position. He'll probably stay there the entire game and start just dropping rounds. Two German SS units are moving up here on the left. I was going to say a Tiger. That's not a Tiger. It's a Panzer IV. He's kind of doing the flanking thing. Now the Americans are looking cool. The Rangers are doing their usual. These guys don't smoke cigarettes. They're doing some massive cardio. They've already gone over one hill and they're into a ditch. The guys that do smoke Lucky Strikes, the regular Americans, are back here, coming up over the hill. Got the second Sherman up here. Both Shermans looking beautiful. And then you got the, is that the regular Americans right there? It's regular infantry? Yeah. No, that's the airborne, right? Is this the airborne unit?
Yeah. Big pants.
Airborne. Got the regular infantry on the far left. Got their machine gun team moved up a little with their officer. And then this boy's ready to, they just ready to load shells in there and start shooting. That freaking Sherman did a beautiful move by Greg and C-Dub. Good job, guys. He could. Let's see what he does with that 105. Well, that's going to be beautiful. We'll draw us into the second round here in a second, see what happens, but I'm super psyched. Alright. Oh, the end of turn two. The SS are moving up.
Bring it. We want some Nazis.
Got the other SS over here. Tiger's kind of, not Tiger, I keep saying Tiger. Panzer IV's kind of peeking. He's engaged. The Sherman. Other Sherman's boogieing up. The American infantry are coming over the walls like crazy. The Rangers are here. Look at the regular infantry. That Sherman's up over the top of that officer. Was that the? That's the end of the tail end of the airborne. We're getting in place up here with the Germans are moving into the ruins. I kind of don't know what to do with that Puma. He's kind of out front. My handle mag's kind of there. My spotter's moving up. Mortar's in position. Just needs a spotter in place. Yeah. Yeah. Do it above view. Pioneers are moving up. Puma's kind of covering the. Someone's gonna make some kind of stupid ass move, and it's gonna get real ugly. It's American. Is that the regular infantry on the far side over there?
Yeah.
And then they got an officer behind them. The machine guns in ambush back there, covered by a tank. The howitzer is waiting to blast somebody. His spotter's up against this building, right back there. You can see his head popping out. American tank. The infantry's piling up on the side. It's going to look good. Alright, we'll see what happens in, this turn could be stupid. We'll see in a little bit. Alright, Americans are massing for a mass attack. They got dudes all on the road. The guy up top. I took a rocket shot. That was probably the best thing I did and totally muffed it. It landed, I think I hit Alaska. And waiting for Dub's tanks and Greg's tanks to get going. That fucking howitzer is going to open up this round. I've only got one unit to stop his mass attack. It's my Pioneers. They'll kill somebody and then they'll just get killed. And then I don't know what I'm doing with the half track. I got retarded with that and I piled all my dudes up in there. I'm kind of clueless right now, but we shall see. I just want to hit someone with the rocket launcher. That's my #1 objective. Alright, let's get this round. Round 4? Yep. Alright, we're ready for round 4. Let's get serious. So as we ran out of time, it got to like 4 in the morning. Ugh. That's a bit too late for this loser. We kind of took a little break. I'll continue later, but CW and Greg launched a pretty massive attack right as the time was running out, so to speak. So we'll go over it a little bit here. I'll go over the American side. You can see pretty much a coming over the top rush here. So the Ranger squad went over the top. They attacked the Panzer Grenadiers, the SS Panzer Grenadiers, and they killed a couple. They did pretty good. They mowed down a few of them. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So they killed like 3 of them. They took up, and they got some good hits. CW rolled a bunch of 6s, so he was able to pick off the. He was able to pick off the machine gunner. Took him out. But they had enough firepower, thankfully, left over for my end. Lost, took a rifleman and quickly fired back with the assault rifles, which work at that range, work really well. Dude. 6, 7, 8. It's killed like 2 Rangers. To try to totally ice them off, the airborne guys came over the top, and you'll see a big conspicuous hole in their line right after they came over the top and engaged the I think they tried to engage those SS over there. A mortar round landed right in the middle of their ranks and basically blew a giant hole. Got a direct hit from that 81mm mortar back there. He put a round up. His spotter is up in the top of that building up there. The ruins. Kind of peeked out the window, said, "Oh shit, here they come." Dropped the round right in the middle and blew up, I think, like 6 of them. So got them pretty good. Regular infantry kind of followed up the hole. I don't think They attacked and didn't do much. But they were ready to go again. So it's a big push on this right side. This infantry unit probably did an ill-advised attack at the same time. Probably not the best idea, because they ran right into these. These are the Pioneer unit. The Pioneers kicked off the flamethrower and then all their submachine guns, and pretty much just mowed these guys down. 1, 2, 3, 4. They killed 7 of them, and then what was left fired back and killed, I think, 2 or 3 of these their guys. They're getting backed up by their officers. They'll have to make a big old morale check. Got a couple pin markers all over the place on both those units. I tried to move this half track up to support them. I don't know if it's a good idea. I started to feel like the 37mm anti-tank gun might have not been the greatest, so I kind of spun around and was going to use the machine gun in the back. But second I did that, this Sherman raced forward to basically put a hole. Thankfully it missed. I got really lucky. He just drove up there to smoke his ass. This other Sherman 105 fired across at my Puma, who immediately used his Reese move to go back behind that hill and hide from him. He had my Panzerwerfer tried to light up this entire side over here, and things like the most inaccurate gun in the universe. He missed again. Greg tried to fire on my main unit over there in the ruins with his 105 and missed those Panzers. These SS infantry. And they ran forward to try to support. They didn't want to leave these guys alone. And I got the Panzer IV there to support them too. I'll probably, I don't know what the hell. I got so many options of people I have to shoot in the first round. It's almost overwhelming. I'll definitely need to support this right-sided attack over here. Greg's got his forward observer up in there. He's trying to boogie with his 30 cal, trying to get away, because I was originally trying to pepper this guy with my Puma, so he hasn't had a chance to move up yet. And he can support him. I can't really... Technically, I guess the Puma could go up against a Sherman, but I don't know how smart that is. That's kind of... I'd rather have the Panzer IV taking out people like that. But it's only a matter of time for this 105 drops a freaking hot round on one of my guys and blows a hole in him. And then his 2 Shermans need to advance. But he's got his infantry pushing. I don't know if it's the best idea to have them first, the tanks first. We don't have a lot of anti-tank capabilities besides other tanks and mortars and rockets. I do have this officer guy back here with he's got 2 Panzerfaust on him, so that could be fun. It's kind of a good killer unit. So I'm hoping they'll do something. But the next round will be, I don't know if they should pull back or what the hell they should do. We'll see. I'll get you more to come on that. I'll probably rush forward with the tanks and then try to pull back. Or I could totally slam forward, but I don't know. Infantry without guns against a tank is probably not the best idea in the world, especially when you've already taken a good amount of casualties. So, we shall see. Alright, see you next round. Woo! Coming at you live from turn 5, where the massacre on the right flank continues. And it got ugly over here, real ugly. Started off I think the first order dice out of the bag, just if you notice stuff, sorry, I think was the German half-track, and he knew he had that other guy breathing down his ass, so I thought I'd save him because it's from the Sherman. So he backed up and he fired a machine gun into the American squad that used to be there. I didn't want to lose him on the first turn. I don't know why the hell. Maybe I'm attached to the damn handle mag, but who knows. But he killed like 1 guy, no big deal. Second dice out of the bag just happened to be German again. So I turned loose the, which I should have done in the first place, the Pioneers. And between the light machine gun, the flamethrower, and a couple submachine guns, it overkilled the Americans that were left. There was like 4 guys left, and they got like, I don't know. I even got I rolled a D6 on the damn flamethrower hit, so it was just total liquefied. There's nothing left. The Americans picked the next dice. The Rangers said, "Oh, you know, we're already out here. We're go for broke. We don't know how to retreat." So they fired into the point blank into the Waffen SS infantry here in front of them. They took a few of them out, and then the next bag was the Germans. So I'm like, hell, I'll return the favor. And they tore up and killed. I think they killed 1 more Ranger. The Rangers are holding out. They got shot out by a lot of people though. They passed their dice to knock their. They passed their check even with the Panzerfeuer and all the other bullets. They got down to 2 pins, but now they're back up to 4. So they got shot a few more times, but they didn't take any. They didn't take any more casualties. So the best thing they did was stay out in the open. After that, the American Airborne, who was over here in front of that regular infantry squad, they had a huge hole in their ranks. So they reformed and then they shifted into cover to try to, they didn't want to lose everybody. If they were out in the open with that other SS unit coming up, we couldn't afford to lose any more troops on the American side, so they fell back. Next up, this SS squad tried to back up the Pioneers. Back up the Waffen over here. So the double SS, they ran up here and unloaded with all their rifles, and I think they killed 1 more Ranger. So that was another pin for them. The big job was this regular American infantry squad. I rolled like all 5s and 6s for them. They cut loose with their rifles, and they killed 5 of these SS. So they did a pretty damn good job. They mowed a bunch of them down. I was freaking very, very impressed there. They did a hell of a good job. That was some good dice rolling. So that SS unit got welcomed to the party real quick. Even hiding behind that wall, they didn't matter. They just got riddled with bullets. Excuse me. Next out of bag, I think it was the American. I can't remember who was next. I think it was the American machine gun squad, and I moved them up and got them into cover here. They were sitting out in the open, and I was worried about sorry, my phone. I was worried about the Puma running up and taking a shot at them when they were out in the open, so they advanced into this ruins, and they've got a pretty good line of fire there. So they got in there. Next was another nice bag, was a mix with Americans, so I thought, hell, I'm going to try to break this loose and try to win this right side over here. That's what they were hoping. So he fired 105mm round and tried to wipe out the rest of this SS infantry, but they missed. That would have been pretty sad. They would have tore them up pretty good. Next up was another American one. This tank raced forward, and he went guns blazing on the SS. I was really trying to push it on to try to blow a hole through the middle of the German line, and then maybe roll down into the trench down there and take out those guys. This tank raced up, fired, 2 machine guns at the SS, and they only killed 1 other guy. But they did put another pin marker on it, so they're sitting at I think 2 pins now. It wasn't significant enough. I think between the advancing and the shooting over the hard cover of the wall, it just made it a bit too difficult. I went for broke next on the next shot, and focuses in here. I said, hell, I got all these damn troops lined together, so I took a rocket artillery shot right into the middle of this. So that's like 5 guys I could have hit, and if I rolled 1-6, I could have probably plastered half of these guys, and I rolled all 1s and 2s. Next up was another German unit, so I'm like, hell, I'm going to try to reinforce these guys again. So they fired a mortar round. After that, I was emboldened after that last time I hit the airborne, so I fired at the airborne again, but of course I needed a 6 because they moved, and I totally missed it. Next out of the bag was the other American tank. 105 raced up and fired a 105mm shell at the Panzer IV and missed, and then took some machine gun shots at the Waffen SS infantry, just trying to slow them down, and missed too. So then it got really out of control for the Americans. The Puma went up, came up the hill, advanced, got up to that wall, fired a side shot into the 75 Panzer, and friggin' just dusted him, killed him straight out. Great dice rolling. There's all sixes and crap, and the medium anti-tank gun just sawed right through that Sherman like butter. Then followed it right afterwards. This Panzer IV fired its heavy gun. Coming! Into the front armor of this Sherman and went right through it and frickin' destroyed it. And that was that. I got you, baby. Other minute. And that was about it. So, yeah, that was a freaking crazy turn. I don't know what the hell these guys are going to do now because they got no damn anti-armor. So, it's going to suck unless this artillery rules the world. It's probably going to be a slaughter. Alright, that's turn 5. Got to go to a wrestling meeting because that's exciting. Alright, I'll see you. Bye. Turn 6, the massacre continues. It starts off after the Germans realized they didn't have to really worry anymore because the American armor was toast. The SS infantry retreated back behind the wall. They disengaged. Rangers weren't having none of that, so they advanced behind this wall and actually picked off a couple of them. Actually, they shot at the SS infantry that was still there. They were the second dice to be drawn. That first one they pulled back. I was hoping the other SS be able to pull back, but no such luck. I think picked like the second, third, and fourth dice bags were all dice rolls were all American. So the Rangers shot them up, killed a few of them. The airborne that were here, they shot a couple of them up, and then the American regular infantry here finished them off with a couple great rifle shots. These guys have been phenomenal. Now with nothing stopping them, the Panzers have moved forward. Panzer IV advanced on the right flank of the Rangers and fired into them. I think killed one of them, put a pin marker on them. German half-track raced up, tried to fire a shell at the American infantry behind the wall here and missed. The Puma ran up, shot at them and killed off I think 2 of them. So these guys are getting surrounded. They'd probably surrender if there's anything else. With 3 pieces of armor rolled in on them, that's all they really got left. German officer retreated back behind the wall too in typical kind of wussy fashion, but not too dumb, to tell you the truth. The MVP quickly for the game is becoming this 81mm mortar. He fired again since the airborne hadn't moved from the last time they shot. He landed it around right in the middle of them and crushed a bunch of them. Just totally crushed them. And then he got the massive roll for the +3 on the morale check. And they'd lost over half their men, so they took the morale check and they failed it, even with the officer there. The officer got smoked too because the Templar was able to get the officer behind him, took out both of his BAR gunners with him, so he was kind of rattled too. And then the airborne just kind of said, "F it, I'm out of here." With the Panzer IV bearing down on them, mortar rounds, direct hit, blowing half their team up, they said, "We're out of here." And that wasn't the end of the German pyrotechnics. The Nebelwerfer finally connected in spectacular fashion. Hit 2 direct hits on the ruins, crushed the medium machine gun, blew everyone to pieces on that team, and blew the forward observer to living hell. He got blown out of the building and landed somewhere in Stuttgart. The officers behind here, they got spooked out and took a couple pin markers. They got hit in they got caught up in a couple of explosions, but they were okay. But that was short-lived because the Pioneers came over the top and the flamethrower engaged. The machine guns and the submachine guns all bounced everywhere, but the flamethrower went right through the walls and just melted them big time. They all just got completely incinerated. The U.S. howitzer went direct fire on the Puma and actually hit it, but failed to penetrate, put a pin on it. And the Puma then followed his order dice when he came running up along this road here and passed his order test, so immediately lost the pin marker. German machine gun inside the building. Poured a couple rounds on the Rangers, and I think it just put a pin on, nothing exciting. They're up to 4 pins, and then basically 5 with that thing sitting there. And any reasonable commander would probably surrender here. I think it's totally game over. The Americans have the 105, can maybe penetrate stuff. I'm gonna let that thing loose and see if I can get a direct hit. But the observer is gone now, so its range of motion is pretty sad. I think one of the vehicles is going to run down to the side of it where it can't even rotate and fire, and probably just waste it. So I might just play one last turn with just to get it all done. But it's, once the American armor got taken out, definitely Americans need to go with their armor's going to pop like this, like a zit. They need to go with definitely either an anti-tank gun or a couple bazooka teams, just to make things interesting. Next battle, definitely have to throw in at least 1 or 2 bazooka teams, because the Germans just, this isn't even heavy German armor. They just freaking, their armor just outclassed the Americans as usual. Well, not in a, since it's my first bolt action game, not as usual for me, but probably in reality. Panzer IV crushing the Sherman 75, and Puma getting a jump on the left flank of doing the American game and running up on the left flank of the, actually the Panzer IV took out the 105, and Puma ran up on the side and shot a hole right through the middle of the other, the Sherman 75, took him out. So that's the end of, I guess, turn 6. We'll do turn 7, and that'll be bring a merciful end to this catastrophe. Yeah, that's about it. So, Commander Kunchaf, whatever his name is leading his boys to victory. Good job there, Commander, or Lieutenant, or whatever the hell it is in German. Alright, we'll see you in turn, whatever the hell's next. And at the end of turn 7, the American command, they put the white flag up. They're done. Panzer IV rushed in and shot up the Rangers. They got a couple guys left. Half-track came screaming in and fired forward and backwards. You know, the anti-tank gun shot into the Rangers. The medium machine gun fired into the regular infantry back there. The Puma is around the corner there. She fired into the regular infantry. These pioneers advanced up the road, and they put their flamethrower on them. And there's like 4 guys left, and they all burned up. So this officer is all alone. The Rangers don't like it, but they got 3 dudes against armored cars, armored vehicles. Then I'm sure the SS want to run up there and shoot them, but I didn't even get through halfway through before these guys even stopped. Tried to blow up the Rangers with the mortar team. They missed for a prayer shot. The Nebelwerfer can't see anything, so he just kind of, they're cooling his jets literally. And then the 105 couldn't see anything either, so they just abandoned that and went to Zaxby's. So that was it. So first game went, that was the conclusion of what we started. Went well. I'm sure we had some screw ups, but I had a blast. It was great terrain. I'm very impressed with my not the best model painting, but you know, hell, I enjoyed it, and really it was kind of pretty seeing the stuff you worked on out there. You know, seeing your Pumas, seeing your Pioneers with their different camo schemes and their little red pant legs. Explosions that came with them from the 2 105, you know, the 2 Shermans. Panzer IV did great. Even the crazy little war wagon half-track had an impact. Killed a couple guys. Rangers, very impressive with those guys. They fought to the end. 2 last cool models up with a 30 cal, and then they also with the double guns. They were taking morale checks with 6 pin markers or 5 pin markers and still passing them. They rolled like double ones. SS guys look great. Very happy with the way they turned out, and same with their officers. Lost the early SS infantry guys that went in the ceremonial uniforms, but they played good. I'm not sure if I'll use them again, but I really think the advantage of the Germans is the machine guns with Hitler's buzzsaw. Maybe it's the best things to have more of those, but I will try different combinations. Nebelwerfer is just fun. It was a fun weapon. It made the game fun because if you bunch up troops, it just throws rockets all over the place, and it was just a blast. The German machine gun, you can see him in there. Firing out of that building, having those ruins, having a good time. The radio opera up top, he was just sighting in for that mortar head. He's a good looking dude too. I think that the medium machine gun in here would have been more of an impact player if the Americans broke through there. He was waiting to mow them down. He'd have been really difficult to root out of there, and so was he. Calling in coordinates for the mortar team. Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. So, great game, a lot of fun. I'll definitely want to expand at some point into more stuff. I still got a lot of dudes to paint, a lot of 30 cals over there, a lot more Germans to finish up. And I got some Americans over there to finish up. But, blast. Great game, highly recommend. See ya.